All right, gonna hop into another swing check here for my buddy Thomas. This is Ryan from Golf Fit. So Thomas had mentioned that he had a two-way miss in his driver today. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Overall posture and setup's pretty solid. I would say maybe a little more knee flex, kind of get the hips to go back a little bit more in this position here. And that should allow for the hands to drop a little bit and bring the primary swing plane line down into more of like the belly button area. But overall, everything else is pretty solid. As we take the club away, you've got the club slightly behind the hands, which isn't a big deal. As you get up to the top, pretty good top position, but I would like to see that, and this could be an angle thing because this is not the best angle. Typically the hand should be about 3 inches behind the trail shoulder, which it looks like you're actually pretty close there. And when I first looked at it, it wasn't. But as we drop the club down, you kind of get the club almost shallow enough, but it's still in this position here. It's pretty steep. It does shallow out a little bit here. But then you can see how quickly, I mean, literally like one frame, boom, the club is straight down. So that tells me that the hands and arms are doing the majority of the work here. The body hasn't moved very much in relationship to how much the club has moved. So because you're not getting a whole lot of hip rotation and a lot of shoulder rotation, the hands and arms are going to control the movement. Now, what happens when that happens is that your swing path, because the hands and arms kind of tend to have a natural tug, that means that you're going to be swinging more this way in your follow through, which is exactly what we're seeing there. Okay, and this is where a two-way miss can start, because when you have an outside to in swing path, which is what this is, the club is outside working its way inward towards the body. If the club face is closed relative to the path, you're going to be hitting hooks, and if the club face is open relative to the path, you're going to be hitting slices. And so you're kind of at a lose-lose there. So what you want is you want to get the club working more out this direction into your follow-through, and that's going to keep everything working away from the spine. And not only that, it's going to allow for more body rotation and more shoulder tilt. When you get into the hitting zone, you can see here, you're basically standing straight up. And you don't have very much rotation, and nor do you have you have very little shoulder tilt as well. And those are kind of two components that you'll see all the PGA Tour pros have, is they all have a ton of hip turn, a ton of shoulder turn, and a ton of shoulder tilt. And so they're almost in like what I call a side view hitting position, whereas you're in a standing up hitting position. And so if you can get yourself swinging more out to that third base or left field position, it's going to encourage the body to do more of the work and less of the hands and arms. But other than that, I hope that helps. As always, aim small, swing smooth. Peace.